Peace, family. It's your boy King Overtuna. We're back again with another episode. In this episode, we're going to talk a little bit about some of the things that people can do when they first come to Uganda, like some of the investments you can make when you come to Uganda, and how you can, start up a profitable business here in Uganda. So let's go ahead and get right into it. Okay, so I've been getting a lot of comments in my comment section. I've been getting a lot of emails and DMs on Instagram about what can people do when they come here to Uganda. Is the job market available? Is the business market open and available for foreigners to come here to invest? And I would rather say that the business market is more widely available than the job market is, and the reason why is because this is a country where there are a lot of people who live in poverty, and one of those reasons why they live in poverty is because jobs are just not that widely available. So on the flip side to that, many people have started their own businesses in order to maintain some income in here, because if they can't go out and find a job, they'll try to take what little bit of money they can, start trying to raise some capital the best way they can. So one of the things you'll see here in Uganda is a lot of people having a lot of side hustles. Pretty much everybody got a side hustle out here in some way, shape, or form. I'm not gonna say every single person, but for the most part, a lot of people here have side hustles, and I've seen it, almost in every aspect. For example, when I'm in Uber going from one place to another, you'll see people on the side of the road or in between traffic trying to sell things like snacks or face masks, electronics, shirts, hats, handkerchiefs, cleaning products, stuff for your car, like floor mats for your car, steering wheel covers, all kinds of things. You name it, they'll sell it, you know what I'm saying? So it's a lot of business opportunities here, but it's not a lot of job opportunities here. So one thing I wanted to mention to diasporans is that we shouldn't really come to Africa to compete for jobs. What we should be doing is come to Africa to produce these jobs, and we should be investing in markets that produce jobs for everyone. We shouldn't come here to have to fill out a job application and wait to apply for this or wait to apply for that. You get what I'm saying? Only applications we should be filling out are business applications, things of that nature. We shouldn't really be, like I said, asking or applying for jobs. So hopefully, that gives people an idea of some of the things that they can get into. But I'm going to get more in depth about it. I'm going to actually talk about 5 different things that people can invest in when they first come here to Uganda. Okay, so one of the things that people can invest in here in Uganda is waste management. Waste management is a big industry here that is actually virtually untapped. Now, I'm not saying that there aren't companies that are already around collecting trash, but dealing with the trash, actual waste management, is an issue here in Uganda. It's probably an issue in other African countries as well, but we're only going to talk about Uganda. So what I've seen as far as waste management goes is those who don't afford to have their trash picked up by trash companies like Bin, or there's another trash company around here. So basically, they take their trash and they burn it, outside their property or somewhere around the property locally, and other people in that area who also have trash will take it to that same trash pile and burn it there as well. So they don't really have a way of dealing with their trash here, and that's an issue because obviously it's destroying the environment. So when it comes to plastics, electronics, whatever it is that's rubbish, if you don't see people out there picking through the rubbish to, they say rubbish out here, not trash or garbage. So if you don't see people picking through the rubbish out here, removing recyclables and stuff like that, nobody's going to recycle it. You understand? You have few people who actually understand the importance of recycling, like plastics, glass, things like that, because there's actually money involved in it. Honestly, if I felt there was no money to be made from, recycling that plastic, people wouldn't do it. So I really feel like waste management is an issue here, and it's something that people can capitalize on if you have the income, the capital to do it. Like, there definitely needs to be a facility. There needs to be a way of processing the garbage, filtering it, processing it, recycle what needs to be recycled, and actually destroying what needs to be destroyed. And there needs to be a better method of collecting garbage around the city. There's not major companies or city companies that are provided by the government to collect trash. It's not a priority, in my opinion. I'm not saying that's fact, but that's in my opinion. I don't see that it's a priority here really get on top of the trash problem. You get what I'm saying? Because every area I've been to, everywhere I've seen so far, for the most part, people burn their trash. Even restaurants have people who collect it locally and they take that somewhere else and burn it. You get what I'm saying? I'm not going to say every restaurant does that, but I've seen quite a few who do it. You won't know really behind the scenes until like you ask certain questions, things like that. And that's what I would do. I would ask them questions like, how do y'all deal with your waste, your garbage, things like that. And they would tell me they separate what they separate and burn the rest. So waste management is definitely something that people can get involved in here. Like I said, all the way down to bringing trucks in to an actual facility to deal with the rubbish. That's something that you can invest in. If you can create a way to get power like bioorganic energy, something of that nature from the waste, that'll be perfect. A way of repurposing the waste instead of just finding a hole to bury it in, basically. So once again, I'll reiterate, waste management is an issue. It's definitely something that people can invest in. Okay, so another thing that people can invest in here, which is the number 2 thing people can invest in here in Uganda, is education. So education, as far as like early childcare education, all the way up into like universities. There are universities everywhere all over Uganda, schools all over Uganda. Education is present. It's not something that's lacking here. Like I said, in waste management, it's not lacking here, but it definitely is a lot of room for improvement. And I would like to say that growing up in the United States of America, I saw, you got public education, you have private education. From what I understand, the education here in Uganda, this is my opinion off of what I saw, the education here in Uganda is all private and there is no public education whatsoever. And what I mean by that is you have to pay fees, school fees and whatnot, and enroll your child into a specific school. It doesn't matter the district or any of those things like that. You can enroll your child into it's like boarding, or when they don't have it, when you're not boarding. So basically, the child can either stay at the school for a certain amount of time, or they can just go to school every day and come back home. And from what I understand, parents who have the money send their children mostly to these boarding schools, and ones who don't send their child to the other type of schools. So when it comes to the education and the field that can be improved, is I feel like there should be a universal public education system for everyone. And those who can afford private school should send their children to private school. I've seen a lot of children who can't go to school because their parents don't have school fee money. You understand? So they can't pay off any of the school fees whatsoever. When it comes to public education in America, from what I understand, public education comes out of taxpayers' dollars. So it's state-run, or it's state-run. It's a state-run facility that's paid through taxpayers' dollars. So basically, it's government money that's allotted to public education. And I don't see that here in Uganda. I'm not saying that it's not here. I don't know of it. I've tried to, I've asked many questions about it. I've done a brief amount of research on it. I didn't really get into depth about it because I felt like, it's something I would have saw, like it would have just been in my face. Like you can't go down the street in America and not see public schools. You understand? So I feel like I would have eventually saw a public school at one point in time. It could be that they have it differently here. So a public school could be just, something in a different category. But from what I see, it's nothing like how it is in the West. You understand? So there is no public education. There is no just universal education. You have to have money in order to put your child in a school, basically. It doesn't matter if they are boarding at the school or if they're not boarding at the school. And if they are, you're going to spend more money, because you have to keep your child, you have to keep your child there. You have to pay all the fees for all the classes, pay for the exams. You have to pay for the room that they'll be staying in, the accommodations and all that stuff, food. So there's so many different things that are involved in sending a child to an actual boarding school or private school. And there's a lot of people who do it here and don't really have an issue doing that. But I honestly feel like someone should invest in public education, universal public education for all people here. Because not, like I said, not everybody can afford school fees. So you guys just imagine a lot of children are able to go to school at a certain age, but as they get older, many kids can't finish their education because of the fact that they cannot raise money for school fees. It's that expensive here. So the government, like I said, I don't see that they have any kind of programs that allow people to have a universal education where they're the programs are being paid through taxpayers' dollars, basically. You understand? So that's just something that people can get into. Early child care, when I mentioned earlier, is like daycare centers. Daycare centers are around. They're definitely around, but for the most part, people rely on nannies or their maids or something like that when they have small children. So that'll be something that, a lot of people invest in here. But if you have a daycare facility and people don't have maids, they will bring your children to your facility, basically. There are some, I've seen quite a few out here, daycare centers, kinder care, things like that. But once again, that is a field that can definitely be improved, and it's something that we Africans in the diaspora can capitalize on because we come from a Western country where that is present pretty much everywhere. So for those of you who would like to invest in that kind of field, you can invest in early child care development, or you can invest in universities, primaries or secondary schools, things of that nature as well. Okay, family. So the third thing that people can invest in here in Uganda is transportation. Transportation is widely available throughout Uganda, but it does not mean that it cannot be improved and organized. So, for example, the few companies that are trying to improve and organize transportation here in Uganda, the ones that I know about are Bolt, which used to be Taxify, Safe Boda, which is a very decent company. They provide not only a safe way for you to get a boda, but they also provide delivery services through the app as well. And Uber. There's another one, I think it's called Friendly Taxi, and they have all green cabs. But for the most part, those are the few companies that I know of that I personally use that are trying to create or develop some kind of organization when it comes to transportation. Because if you do not use those methods that I was telling you about, then the other public transportation that you probably would use is local transportation, which is a local taxi or a local boda or a local bus. Now, these taxis, bodas, and buses are not like how they are in the West. A local taxi is similar to what a local bus would be out West. So, for example, where I'm from in my city, we have what's called the HRT bus. I know up north they got the Metro and some other places like that. But we have actual buses that have a specific route that they go on that goes around the city and comes back to this location. Here they have what we will call a minibus, or it's a van that carries around 14 people. It's supposed to carry 14 people. And these vans are called taxis out here. In Kenya, they're called matatu. And basically they follow a specific route to one location to another. Well, I wouldn't say specific because they do take alternate paths and alternate routes sometimes to get around traffic, things of that nature, or they might not even complete the route at all. If it's not profitable, they'll probably just stop somewhere and kick everybody out the taxi and just go back to where they came from. So when it becomes organized, you won't see things like that happen. You get what I'm saying? These guys really conduct business based off of the profitability of their route. So if they're not picking up a lot of customers on this route, they're more than likely not going to go to the entire length of the route. You get what I'm saying? So if I'm coming from one part of town and I need to go to Kampala City, the actual town, like to the new taxi park or something like that, and there's only 3 passengers in the car, they're probably not going to go. They're more than likely going to take us like halfway to whatever halfway point there is, or halfway taxi park. If there's any around that's a halfway point, they'll stop us there, or stop us at like a popular boda stage or something like that, or just somewhere, wherever they decide, and kick you guys out the taxi, and they'll keep it moving. You get what I'm saying? But when it's organized, you will never see those type of things. Now, when it comes to bodas, the only organization that I've seen when it comes to the bodas, bodas are motorcycles here. So if I didn't say that before, bodas are motorcycles here. Motorcycles are used as transportation. You don't see that in the West too much at all. You might get a buddy who will take you on a ride or something like that, but it's not used as a method of transportation. But that is one of the most widely used methods of transportation. It's not recommended to foreigners because a lot of people, say that you'll get in accidents, and it is true. You can definitely get into an accident when you're in a boda. Me personally, it hasn't happened so many times, and I personally like to use bodas because It's faster, it's more reliable, it can be cheap, but I can get to point A and point B a lot quicker than I could if I was in a taxi, because the taxi out here traffic. Bodas don't really follow traffic laws like they're supposed to. So these guys just weave in between cars and weave in between traffic and get you to your destination, basically. So there are ways of organizing that. I know with Safe Boda, they do not do that. With Safe Boda, they provide an extra helmet if they have one. Most often they do. They will provide an extra helmet for their passenger. The fare is already established up front through the app, so the rider himself would not ask you for more money. It's already established through the app. Another thing that they do, like I said, they do delivery services, so you can order food through the app. Your Safe Boda will go pick up your food. You can either pay through the app, mobile money, or you pay cash when you receive the product, and the rest will be dealt with after they get their money and everything like that. So there are many different ways that you can improve transportation here, and those are just a few examples. I can get more in depth about it. If you guys will, shoot me an email or, DM me on Instagram or something of that nature, and you ask me specific questions, I will try my best to get more in depth about transportation. Okay, so the number 4 thing that people can invest in here in Uganda is real estate. Real estate for commercial and residential real estate. Land is widely available here. I'm not sure about how accessible it is as far as foreigners coming from one country to another and just purchasing land. I don't believe you can do that at all. I know there is definitely a process you have to go to in order to acquire land, but you can, depending on the visa that you come in on, whether it's a business visa, work visa, student visa, or things of that nature, will let you know how you can go about acquiring this land. If you're here on a business visa, then of course you can acquire land, but it's a process that you have to go through as far as dealing with the government and then dealing with the landowners. When you are just got your regular citizenship and you want to acquire some land, things of that nature, you don't necessarily have to go through the government to do so. You can find the individual who has the land, and you guys can discuss it however you want, get your lawyers involved. Once you have the land title, if it has a land title on the land, you get your lawyers involved and take it to the next level, basically. But it's not a process that is heavily dictated by the government as far as what I saw. Now, when it comes to commercial land, it definitely is dictated by the government. So that means if they allow you to take this land, they're going to scrutinize every process of it. So they want to know what you're doing with it, where are you going, where's the money coming from, where's the money going to, and all of these things are going to be involved. So if you want to get into just residential properties, you just want to build a couple rentals or something like that, what I would recommend is you find an individual who has some land, an area that you are willing to, work in or develop in, and you discuss with this individual the price and everything for how much land you want, the pricing, whatnot. And the next step is you find out this person has a title. So once you find out this person has a land title, you will then get a copy of this land title, and that's when you get your lawyers involved. Once your lawyers are involved, then the process will begin to either be expedited or it can be hindered even more, depending on how good your lawyers are. Now, I have a buddy who's dealing with some land out in Nansana. It's an area called Nansana. And basically, this is the process that he went through. So I'm not speaking through my own personal experience. I'm speaking through an experience of someone that I know. He's an African-American brother who's already out here, who's already dealing in this process. So basically what he did was he didn't go through a broker. He actually met someone in his area. And this guy was willing to, sell pieces of land. So he was talking about a plot. I think it's like a 50 by 100 plot, 50 feet by 100 feet. And basically he's only using it for something very small. He wants to put like one little rental on there or something of that nature. So basically he is renting the plot until they can, get the land title ready and everything like that, because this person has to go through his lawyers to get the land title and everything of that nature. So there is, like I said, it's a process that you have to go through, and it is legal processes that you have to go through. You can't just show up to Uganda and flash some money around and say, hey, I want this land. No, it does not work that way. So for anybody who's really eager to get into the comment section and start talking about those things, just know I'm not telling anyone that you can just come to Uganda and just buy land. It's not that possible, okay? But there is a process that you can go through to acquire land. It is available. So let's go ahead and clear that up now. because I've had those conversations in my comment section before, and in no way, shape, or form am I about to argue with anybody over this stuff. If you know something and I've said something that may not be 100% accurate, just email me or DM me or just leave a brief comment or something of that nature, and we'll get that cleared up. But in no way, shape, or form am I trying to provide misleading information to my subscribers or to anyone. So now that that's established, go ahead and leave a comment in the right way, and I'm not going to be arguing with anybody. So if you're going to leave a comment, just say what you got to say and just be brief and get to the point and all those good things. All right. So moving right along, back to the commercial land. For those of you who want to invest in some commercial land and you want to build up, some larger properties like shopping malls, shopping centers, things of that nature. Once again, it is available, but it's a process that you have to go through. So I recommend that 2 things you do when you first get here is you have your capital ready and you find you a trustworthy lawyer. You can find you a trustworthy lawyer that will definitely help you improve this entire process. But if you have to go through, some funny people who do funny business, then your process is going to be hindered. So I hope that information helps, and let's move right on to the next thing. All right, family. The last thing I want to mention of the 5 things that you guys can invest in here in Uganda, and once again, there are many more other things you can invest in. These are 5 things that, off the top of my head, that I thought of that would be pretty good for people, to start up with and invest in. And the last thing is healthcare. So I believe healthcare is definitely a major field that people can invest in to improve and organize all over Uganda. I mean, if you want to come here to the capital, it's welcome. If you want to go to the western region, it's welcome. North, south, stay here in the central, go to the east, it's all welcome. You understand? There is healthcare present in Uganda. People definitely have a way of taking care of their health here. Some people prefer herbal medicines, other people prefer over-the-counter medicines. But once again, healthcare is present here. Now, no matter where you are in the world, healthcare can always be improved and always be more organized, always. So that's not an issue for anyone to think that, you can't come here to Uganda to basically get into the healthcare field and all of that stuff and not organize. You definitely can. You can definitely improve it in many different ways. So one of those ways that people can improve healthcare is emergency medical services, EMS, or first responders, things of that nature. From what I've seen, if you have the money, of course, then ambulance will come pick you up. But once again, you have to deal with traffic and transportation issues, basically, from point A to point B. So I'm not sure, I'm going to look into this field, but I would like to know the amount of people who actually die or their injuries worsen just, in the transportation from them getting from their home or wherever it is they got injured to the hospital, basically. So I would do some more research on that, but I definitely can tell you that I've seen so many ambulance stuck in traffic with, the sirens wailing and everything, and nobody can move, nobody can go anywhere because the road conditions are not that favorable and traffic is just absolutely outrageous here. And like I said, that's something that I've noticed. So I believe that first responders could be vital and key in this country, to saving a lot of lives. Because if they can get first responders to show up at somebody's place before ambulance gets there to just transport them, they might be able to stabilize or even help the person if they're in a critical condition or if they're in any kind of condition. You get what I'm saying? Like, I've seen a situation where women have gone into labor while stuck in traffic in an ambulance. You get what I'm saying? Because there was no way for them to get there early enough, or when it happened, it just happened. So if you have first responders, things like that, who can deal with these type of issues, I believe, it'll definitely improve and, create some kind of organization. Now, EMS, what I was saying, there are some ambulance services out here, but I do know the ambulance fees are kind of expensive. Not nearly as expensive as it is in America, but it can be expensive. So with that being said, there can be definitely more emergency medical services here. I don't see people getting airlifted out, from helicopter, getting airlifted to one place to another. So I don't believe that major hospitals have medevacs. I'm not saying that they don't. I just have not personally seen it. I've been to hospitals in the West, growing up in America, where I've seen a helicopter parked out on the helipad, waiting for service. I've even seen people getting transported via airlift to the hospital because of whatever the case may be. Maybe it was too much traffic, or they were just in a far location where they had no choice but to get airlifted out of there to the hospital. So that's definitely something that people can invest in. Medical transportation, again, just different types of medical technologies that people can invest in, medical machines, equipment, things like that. But for the most part, everything that I'm saying that people can invest in, I think and I feel personally, it needs to be produced and it needs to come from Uganda. So if there's emergency medical services, the training, the equipment, everything needs to be produced right here in Uganda. We need people from abroad to come here with their medical knowledge. Even prior soldiers like myself, veterans who serve their country, things like that. If you were a field medic, combat medic, corpsman, or something of that nature, and you deal with medicine, or you deal with the art of healing, or just treating wounds, things like that, definitely come out here with your skills. My little bit of knowledge of combat lifesavers have helped me in many different little situations here. So just imagine, if I got my little bit of knowledge of CLS, what can your knowledge, if you are an actual medic, what can your knowledge bring here to Uganda? You get what I'm saying? Those of you who are surgeons, not servants. Those of you who are surgeons, LPNs, registered nurses, just different things like that. You deal with triage, excuse me. Any of those things would definitely help to come here to Uganda. You would definitely be able to improve the circumstances here in Uganda. So it really is up to the individual's imagination. But I personally, here's an idea for you. I feel like every hospital should have boda-bodas who are first responders. And the reason why I say that is because boda-bodas can get to a place quicker than an ambulance vehicle can. So if you have first responders that are already on a boda-boda and they can get to you and they can treat you right then and there and stabilize you by the time the ambulance gets there, I believe that's something that can improve life just like that. It can improve daily life, very simply. So it's not really something that you really got to have a lot of thought into. I think that once people come here for at least 3 to 6 months, you'll be able to see very quickly a lot of things that you can invest in. And like I said, there are so many other things that people can invest in if you would like to. It's not that big of a deal if you don't. If you want to get into a field that's already profitable, you can. If you want to open up a bar here, you definitely can do so. I am already in the process of doing that myself. So I'm just trying to, invest in some small things that will bring back a lot of capital for me, basically. So when I have my major investments in the future, I already have the capital that, I need. So I don't have to, ask for, a lot of money, donations, things like that. Because donations are very slow right now. So I have to figure out ways of, getting my own capital. So merchandise will be available very soon for those of you who are my subscribers or dedicated to my channel. I'm gonna have some merch very, very soon. I just got a P.O. box not too long ago, so I'm going to leave a link for my P.O. box as soon as I can. Definitely email people. I'm trying to pick up on my emails as well, so if you guys send me an email, you have questions about Uganda, just give me some time. So I have a lot of emails I have to go through, and I have a lot of DMs on Instagram that I have to go through as well. So I definitely want to say thank you to everyone who has supported my channel, and thank you to everyone who is watching this channel as well. Recently, I just hit 2,000 subscribers. I actually hit 1,000 a week ago, and then a few days after that, I hit 2,000. So I really appreciate everybody for showing their support, everybody who has donated to my channel to improve my situation. I really appreciate it. Every little donation that you send does help out here, because every dollar goes a long way in Ugandan currency. So as right now, the donations that I have been receiving, I'm using to upgrade my equipment. So for those of you who do plan to donate to me in the future, now you know what I'm planning on doing. So these donations are definitely going to something to improve content here on my channel, and just here in Uganda in particular, because I am making major moves and I'm trying to go places and do many things. So I would definitely need those donations in the future. For those of you, like I said, who are just now watching this video and you've never seen any of my videos before, please subscribe, hit the notification bell so you can get notified anytime I upload a new video, and you guys can go ahead and watch all my old videos so you can get a general idea of how Uganda is and what things you can do here in Uganda, what you can't do here in Uganda, things that you will like about Uganda, things you won't like about Uganda, and just other information about Uganda in particular. In the future, I'm also going to focus on
cultural things, cultural aspects about Uganda, show people how diverse Uganda is as far as its culture goes. I'm going to also show just different things about infrastructure here in Uganda as well, because that is something that people need to know when they first arrive here to Uganda is, just different things about infrastructure. So once again, family, I really appreciate everybody for watching. Thanks, for everything, all your support, and thanks for everyone, tuning in every time I upload a video. And thanks also for getting my views and my subscribers up. And I appreciate it, and I would love to see it go even higher. So keep sharing this video to your family and friends, and just go ahead and keep putting this information out there to your family and friends. And I'm gonna keep putting this information out there to you guys. So appreciate you, and I love you all, and thank you so much. Peace, family.